Yes, medieval stereo. I just need to do a very quick vocal warm-up. I don't know which is saddest. I don't know which is saddest, me doing this, or you watching me do this.
Lower recorder with his nose and jogging.
Look at that. Does it tickle? Yeah.
Right, there it is.
Where is that?
Come and see the legendary knights battle their way through our tournament this afternoon.
For maneuverability. Scottish?
Somebody's playing the bagpipe, yeah.
This will be the main event of the day. This is what the day's activities all build up towards. Points on the board for the jousters here today. And first of all, as they enter the arena, ladies and gentlemen, let us have a wild round of applause and cheers for our Knight Marshal Stephen Young riding up on Magpie! Magpie has his own ideas about taking to the lists today.
Down, Magpie, that's it. Ah, my lords and ladies, welcome to Pendennis Castle! Sorry about that. Magpie does not like to be away from her friends. Yes. Now today, welcome to the legendary joust, where our knights, 4 knights bold and true, will face each other with tilting lance donned in their armour. Now there are many points to have here, and I will go through that very shortly. But soon, I shall be introducing our Knights of Legend, so make sure you give them a huge cheer. Firstly, we have, in gold and green, the Knight of the Wild Man!
Riding out as the Wild Man, here he comes, Ben Green. Riding in on Breno, very accomplished Pendennis jouster. Rode recently at the joust in Angle Castle and won the award of chivalry for that tournament. So if you're supporting the wild man, give him a cheer.
The next night, clad in gold, the night of the Argo!
Riding in night of the Argo, Mark Hale riding out on Capitan, and as you may have seen him in our earlier skill at arms competition, I should flag up that it is Mark's first full joust with us here at this event today, so you're very lucky to see him riding out here. So loads of support for our night of the Argo!
Our next legendary night. In red and white, we have Sir Lancelot!
Thunder across the field. Roy Murray riding as Sir Lancelot on Guinness. What a name for a horse. Roy's a very experienced jouster. He has many titles to his name. Did very well in our earlier skill at arms. I've seen him ride beautifully here at Pendennis on a number of occasions. So if you are supporting Sir Lancelot, welcome him to the field.
Last but by no means least, all clad in black, the fire-breathing Wyvern!
Wow, what an entrance from our Wyvern. Pete Diamond riding out in black as the Wyvern on Chanella. Very experienced. He's ridden man and boy since he was a teenager in many of the jousts like this. Many international titles to his name. Very much an expert in the field.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, knights, clergy, vassals and commoners, this is jousting with lance only, unlike our skill at arms earlier. Now, this is all about points. Now, there are certain legitimate targets that they can aim for. The main one is the targe, otherwise known as the shield. If there is a strike and a break of the lance on the targe, I will award 3 points. If they do a strike upon the body, including the arms, I shall award 1 point. If, and only if, they manage to break a lance upon the hardest target of all, the helm, I shall award 5 points. There should also be points for an attaint. An attaint is where a strike is made that the lance does not break. I shall also issue points for chivalry and good horsemanship. However, I shall also deduct points for unsavory lance control and unchivalrous conduct. So, my lords, you have been warned. But now it is time for you to go to your ends and prepare your mounts for the legendary joust of Pendennis Castle!
Well, hello gentlemen and ladies. Knights will now exercise their mounts to the wrist, which means they will basically ride up and down the tilt, getting their eye, getting used to making passes against one another. Now, we heard chivalry mentioned a few times there, just to explain what it is if you're unfamiliar with chivalrous play. Hopefully some of you aren't. But chivalry is basically good manners. And when it comes to thundering up and down on horses and trying to break a spear over your friend or opponent's face, well, you might think good manners don't really have a place here, but they certainly do. It is skill of an opponent to be able to understand when they might want to raise their lance to protect their opponent if they have seen something go wrong or untoward. So there are many different things and facets that all of our jousters need to have in mind as they are riding. We will try and point out any modes of skill because it is very difficult if you're not an expert in jousting to see exactly the most impressive things that take place on the field, because sometimes it can be the smaller things. So now our knights have got their eye in. We will see from our Knight Marshal who shall be paired against each other first off.
Right, We will do 2 courses each. To begin with, our first night shall be the Wyvern versus the Wild Man.
So, this is a matter of chivalry, ladies and gentlemen, and either the Wyvern deserves a round of applause there for managing to stop himself mid-charge at some pace, it should be said. Now they're prepared to be armed at the same time, and then they will make their approach towards the tilt. So they have 2 spears against each other, these 2 knights. They prepare themselves, both are armed. I heard a tremendous thwack of broken wood there from our the Wyvern, but we will always check in to see with our marshals at exactly which of the scoring areas those lances were broken.
Now I believe it was 1 break for the Wyvern against the Taj. 3 points.
3 points, and our Wyvern off to a good start, scoring well there. And now the Wild Man seems to get to score. So, turning themselves to their ends, the Wyvern is armed. The Wild Man is not yet armed. So, see how our brown crew and bannermen are bringing forward. The Wild Man is now armed. They turn, and here we go! Jousting is not much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. A shower of shards of lance thrown into the air. And the Wild Man looks delighted with that. The Wyvern salutes his opponent as he rides past.
For the Wyvern, a break to the Taj. 3 points.
3 points to the Wyvern. And to the Wild Man.
I'm afraid there was no break.
I must report, Night Marshal, I think we may have that reversed there.
I apologize.
Was for our Wild Man.
Yes, you are correct, I'm saying to the Wyvern breaking the lances.
Excellent work. So we've had those 2 spears. We have new opponents against one another.
The Lancelot and the Argo.
Now, that is a moment that needs to be pointed out for a round of applause because the knight Sir Lancelot did not lower his lance because he could see that not all was ready. Round of applause for Sir Lancelot there for chivalry.
I shall award Sir Lancelot 1 point.
A point awarded for chivalry to Sir Lancelot. Well, if anyone was here to embody the personage of chivalry, it's the knight all in white as Sir Lancelot. So they are preparing themselves to play that spear again.
Yes, they shall rerun that course.
Turning to either end of the tilt. And the Argo is speaking to the bannerman. He is not armed. Now for Sir Lancelot to hold and stand poised like that, excellent horsemanship. And the Argo turns. And they're away! Oh! Useful last minute lowering of the lance there from Sir Lancelot. That is exactly what you want to do, lower at exactly the right moment as your opponent is passing you. If you lower your lance too early, then it will start to jostle around and you won't be able to drive the point home.
Sir Lancelot, break to the Taj, 3 points.
3 points, Sir Lancelot, putting him in the lead at the moment. 1 point ahead for that chivalry. They return, hand over their lances. As you can see, you can get through a lot of lances like this. But that does tend to happen when you use a lance a lot. Don't worry, I'll be here all week. So, Lancelot is armed. Iago lowers his visor and proceeds into the tilt. Here we go! Oh, excellent work there. Roy Murray's Lancelot picking off his opponent at exactly the right moment. Lovely stuff from our jousters out there on the field.
So Lancelot brings the Taj 3 points for the Argo, and it takes to the Taj 1 point.
1 point to our knight of the Argo. Absolutely. First ever joust on the field, first point on the board. Let's give him a proper round of applause. So, our knights reset themselves, and now we must choose different opponents for them to run against.
The Wyvern versus the Argo.
Very well, Knight Marshal. The Wyvern is armed, very keen to get in there. The Argo is now armed and turning to face. And here we go at speed. Oh, I heard a clip of glance there, but I didn't see anything shatter or break, so we'll hear from our marshals what happened.
Squire, was there a tape? No.
Wyvern said he could not see anything because his eyes were shut. I think they call that showboating. So, we will hear whether or not an attempt or score should be logged. From our ground marshals reporting back in.
There was no contact, no points.
No clean contact, no points between our knights. Very well. We have another spear between these gentlemen. So the Wyvern is armed. The Argo is armed. Approaching. And here we go! Oh! Look at that! Half a lance came off there. I couldn't see whether or not the Wyvern struck an attempt or not, but it does certainly look like there was a break for the Argo.
The Wyvern, there was no contact made. It was a valiant attempt. The Argo strikes the Taj, 3 points.
3 points! Excellent work from the Argo there. So we've had the course of 2 spears between those gentlemen.
Next, shall be Lancelot versus the Wild Man.
Well, things are about to get wild. Here we go. These are both very, very comfortable professionals in the saddle. We should get some interesting points here. They're straight in and over it. Oh! I think I felt that one. There was a good strike there from Lancelot.
The Wild Man, no contact. Although valiant effort. For Lancelot, break to the Taj, 3 points.
3 points. Lancelot scoring excellently, putting himself at the moment toward the lead of our leaderboard. Wonderful work from Sir Lancelot, and I'm sure the Wild Man will be keen to put some more points on the board in this spear they have between them now. So Lancelot is yet to be armed. He is rearming at the moment. Hope he's not running out of lances. And we prepare ourselves for another spear between these men. Here we go. We are armed. And away! Oh! Wow! Tit for tat out there. The Wild Man was not happy about being scored upon. Look at that. Absolutely delighted.
The Wild Man breaks to the Taj, 3 points.
3 points for our Wild Man.
For Lancelot, and a attempt to charge. 1 point.
Ah, attempt, so he clipped it but did not break the lance. The wild man called that generous.
The gentlemen are swapping ends.
Ah, there is a swapping of the ends, so that different opponents can play against one another. It's a little bit like a tennis match in that regard. Not really like a tennis match, but you get the idea. They sometimes need to change ends, new opponents.
Harold! Yes. We have an update of the scores as they stand so far.
Of course we may, Knight Marshal. So, currently trailing the field, he won't be happy with that, is Ab Wyvern on 3 points. Then, just ahead, Ab Argo on 4. Going ahead to the Wild Man on 6. And currently, more than a nose ahead, it is Sir Lancelot on 11 points. Well, that is quite the ground to make up.
Next we have Lancelot versus the Wyvern.
Here we go. They're straight at it. Oh! That was a beautiful break in the lance.
So Lancelot, gonna break the cars, 3 points. The Wyvern breaks the cars, 3 points.
3 points apiece scored on that course.
Forgive me, it was an attempt for Sir Lancelot. Still only 1 point.
Just an attempt from Sir Lancelot. He claims to have broken the lance, so he's going to get inspected by the ground marshals.
It is broken! Well, it is now. So there's 3 points for Sir Lancelot.
He thought it was broken, it is now, absolutely. So, our Wyvern has another spear against Lancelot though. He'll be keen to try and climb further up the leaderboard. He's doing a good job of it so far. So, the Wyvern is armed, but Sir Lancelot is not yet armed. So Lancelot is armed. The Wyvern turns to face him, and we are away! Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. That is absolutely world-class jousting. Solid strikes coming in from both of our riders.
Well, Sir Lancelot breaks the Taj, 3 points.
3 points, Lancelot.
For the Wyvern breaks the Taj, 3 points.
Also 3 points to the Wyvern. See how they salute each other in the field. Good to see friendship, even though they are trying to drive large bits of wood into each other's heads at the moment.
And next we shall have the Wild Man versus the Argo.
Wild Man and the Argo, and can I confirm, my Marshal, these will be the last 2 spears of this joust. Very well. Last chances to put some points on the board. Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Helmets are armed. And here we go. Wonderful strike. The crowd go wild. Well, he is a wild man. It's deserved.
The Wild Man strikes the Taj, 3 points.
3 points for the wild man. Couldn't be happier with that. Argo returns his lance. Prepares for the final spear of the day. It comes down to this. Will the wild man go for the more difficult points? So the Argo turns toward the tilt. And from a distance, here we go. Oh, excellent. Couldn't have been a better atmosphere to end on. Good, solid breaks from both men.
The wild man strikes the break to the card. 3 points.
3 points for our wild man.
Break to the card. 3 points.
And his first joust, scoring solidly. A round of applause for Diago.
He's joining in the next battle.
So as our knights recover themselves to the list and disarm if they need to. Knight Marshal, we've had a wonderful joust from all competitors, and by your leave I will give you the final scores. So, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. First ever joust and scoring excellently in 4th position with 7 points, the Knight of Diago. In 3rd place, wonderful work on the field, riding at pace at all times with 11 points, the Knight of the Wyvern. And only a nose ahead of him in 2nd place on 12 points, the Knight of the Wild Man. Good solid scores for him, but they could not compete with the man, the myth, the legend, that is Sir Lancelot on 15 points. Roy Murray and Knight Sir Lancelot looks absolutely delighted with that. Absolutely. Well-deserved acclaim.
And also, ladies, this tournament has come to an end. But please, give a huge round of applause to our hard-working squires and the waiters. Also,
That's not real in here. When real life glitches.